Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an extension of my channel favorite somehow. Don't know how that happened. YouTube sensational, I don't know where the hell that came from, video, talking about the shit factor known as WWE and their mishandling of Bray Wyatt, and then my other tangible, much more tangible thing. Now, I do want to bring into contention here my opinion, and this is purely going to be speculative, my opinion on Peacock and its services. Okay? Now, I did make slightly a video about this, but I wanted to focus on this and your alternatives of what promotions you can watch streaming-wise, and also, just generally anything other than what WWE offers. So, what we have out there right now, you got things like, ROH World, I think it's called, where ROH has most of their stuff pre-Sinclair, if I'm not mistaken. I'd had to consult with my brother. You may know him as Shooting the Truth with Art on YouTube. He also used to be Art Carter YT or Art the Wrestling Nerd. You would know him a little bit better than me. I'm just starting to get back into wrestling and trying to, get my hot take on a whole bunch of things. Now, when I heard WWE was starting a network, I was very excited. I was very happy. I was like, yes, we're finally going to have everything at my disposal. I could go and pull up WrestleMania 17, after watching it as a child and videotaping it, 17, 18, on tape. I have it on tape, and I also have the original release of King of the Ring 1998 and WrestleMania 17, which I saved from a shitty thrift store for $1. $1. And I also found 18 on DVD and saved that as well. Now, we're not going to get into that, but it's hard to find these DVDs and shows. So when WWE announced the network, after WWE 24/7 was a hit, when I had it on Comcast, I thought, okay, cool, whatever, let's go. We're going to just get the network, and great. $9.99 a month, like Michael Cole touted, $9.99. It's $9.99. You're going to buy it? It's $9.99. Trust me, it's $9.99. You'll love it. And then fucking JB over there, it's Friday night, Michael. Oh my God, go. And then you got, fucking Booker T probably over there. He'd be like, I don't even know what Booker T would say. He probably doesn't care about the network. Like, it's bullshit, because now, looking at it, the network is an amazing idea. It's an amazing concept. The way they pulled it off was perfect. They did everything right. They had old content. They had live events. They had unique live events to the WWE Network. For example, not Smackville. That sucked. There was a video way further down back in the day, before I lost a whole bunch of weight, where I talked about that one. I'm not going to get into that. But there was stuff like Beast in the Rising Sun, I think it was called. Brock Lesnar's little, house show event. That was an interesting show. I believe the match that I remember from there, I think it was Jericho and Neville? Don't quote me on that. I have not watched that show in a while, and I only saw it once. But there's shows like that on there. Even that Australian show they had, where they give the Iconics the opportunity to win in their home country. I think it was Super Showdown. And Buddy Murphy won the Cruiserweight title, I believe. Shows like that, they give us moments. They had a stadium show. They're also talking now about having a pay-per-view in England. Now, bear in mind, we're going to run back to the main point, because as pointed out by my brother, I kind of went off into a weird tangent where I just kept jumping subjects all the way through. And I get that, but that's what makes a rant unique. It's that when you're sitting here and you're talking about the subject, you go from one thing to another. And if it correlates and it has some form of connection, just let it go. Just take off. Go for it. But the network was an idea and a concept that nobody else has yet to be able to replicate perfectly. WWE had something and they made it as best as you could because ROH didn't have enough stuff. New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan World didn't have quite as good of connectivity as people would hope it would. The only reason why some of these places are doing a lot better now is because they have Fight TV and other third-party streaming services that are doing the hosting for them, like AEW, for example, when they have Fight TV host and stream their shows. They have enough bandwidth to do it. They're competent enough to do it because they are a big enough organization to buy enough bandwidth. If they know that, let's say, 1.5 million people are going to watch it, they'll have enough allocated space for 2.5. But what I don't get is you have this perfect setup. You're charging people $9.99. Okay? How do you, after already signing your fucking soul away to Saudi Arabia for some blood money, the same place that fucking killed Khashoggi, the guy in the Saudi consulate in Israel, and also allowed your employees, bear in mind, most of them aren't even with the company anymore, or half of them aren't, and some didn't even want to go because of the issues that were going on over there. You're taking money from that country. You're making money from that country. You are making money off the blood of people who can't defend themselves in that country. And unfortunately, that's a sad truth and reality. And you use the network to show propaganda to a massive audience around the world who already knows that this country is run by a fucking dictator. No, strike one. Then, on top of all this, Crown Jewel, Greatest Royal Rumble, all that shit. You hype this dude in your developmental, who's supposed to be this big up-and-coming Saudi wrestler. Okay, cool. And he wins a match. He won. What happened to him since? Where's he at? Nowhere. I don't even hear about him in the fucking dark match results for NXT. Where's he at? But this is bringing it back to the network and how we had these really rare shows. But there's weird shit where you make money off of that and Fox with the Fox deal putting SmackDown on Fox. And USA is paying you fucking ubu bucks to show fucking Raw. Why would you get rid of the network in America? Your biggest fucking market. Why would you get rid of the network for fucking Peacock? I want you to understand, WWE. Peacock sucks. Peacock has always sucked. It sucked before WWE came out. The app never loads. The search function don't work. There's no tags. We can't find matches like the WWE Network could. We can't find wrestlers and what they were involved in like the network can. And 3/4 of your library isn't even available yet. There's no Sunday Night Heat. There's no rare shows that you may have had on there before. We can't even... But I can find fucking Roman Reigns fucking clips from fucking Raw the past 6 months. But I can't find half of the stuff that's on the network right now. And on top of all this, people who do want to use the network, who have accounts, but use a VPN because they're sick of your bullshit with the fucking Peacock crap, you fucking block the VPN and you cause it to crash. Trust me, I tried once. I tried for science. I was curious. I had a VPN. I said, let me see if I can log in. I didn't do anything else. I didn't pay for a subscription. I just wanted to see if I could log in. And it barred it. It barred it completely. Even with a paid VPN, you cannot access the network. And if you get access to the network, they will find that you're using a VPN and block it. Why? If I can use that to watch shit on Amazon from across the United States or in another country, you should allow me to do that. We should have an option of using Peacock or the network. You shouldn't have barred it. Because using Peacock is like trying to bake a cake with a fucking hairdryer. It will cook, but is it gonna rise? No. It's like fucking driving a car without a steering wheel, and instead you're using a fucking D-pad for an NES plugged into a USB port and hope and praying that it works. It'll connect, but is it gonna work? So, what options do you have? What do you have that you can do to watch WWE pay-per-views and WWE shows and stuff like that? Well, the most common method that people have said is simply going to one of those weird offshoot watch wrestling websites and just watch it there and not give WWE your money. You can do that, but you need a VPN or you need a really secure connection. These places have a lot of pop-up viruses, malware, and or Trojans. Also, WWE monitors those sites and they will block you and they will fucking fine you. Now, most of those streams also lag, don't work, and they're all from the network. Want to know why? Because the fucking network was stable. Unlike Peacock, you know, the same thing that almost fucked up one of the most important main matches on fucking Money in the Bank in the last pay-per-view. Do we remember that? I'm not going to go back to that. But let me bring it back to speed. What are their options besides pirating? Pretty much YouTube, for one. Sometimes, if you are looking for a full show or you want to watch the matches, but they're not in one long thing, sometimes matches are included on YouTube. You can watch them there. Alternatives to just watching WWE, period, go to TNA's Twitter or TNA's YouTube channel, for example. If you don't want to watch the shit that WWE is putting on right now, you can go to TNA's, Impact Wrestling's profile and watch classic TNA pay-per-views for free on YouTube. ROH does the exact same thing. They did that with the Super Card of Honor shows. I happen to save 2 of them because I had YouTube Premium and I downloaded them for viewing offline. And you know what? It was well worth anything WWE has put out. What other options? You got Fight TV. Fucking Prime Video. You can watch shit on Prime Video if you wanted to. They have some stuff on there, but I'm not sure of what they have. But there is independent shows with a lot of current stars like Keith Lee and people from PWG and other places that are on there that you can watch from before they got famous. AEW. I didn't want to jump to AEW right away because, quite frankly, they kind of oversaturated the market a little bit. They got actually more shows on television right now, currently, between television and YouTube than WWE does. If we really look at it, the grand scheme of things, WWE only has Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK, but NXT UK is not considered a TV show as much as it is an internet show. It's about the equivalency of when Velocity got put on the network, or not on the network, on WWE.com, and you can only watch it on there. If we were to go between the two, though, I would still watch AEW in a heartbeat because, you know, AEW actually has decent talent and they actually allow them to show us unique people we've never seen before. Now, I'm not trying to stroke the AEW's ego either. I'm not a mark for AEW. I only watch AEW if they do, in fact, have something that I'm interested in watching. Now, there's other places. Again, YouTube being the biggest. Dailymotion being the second biggest, because a lot of people like to host live streams of pay-per-views on Dailymotion, which always get fucking removed. So, what can you do? Do you want to support WWE? My answer is no. I wouldn't. I would tell them to go fuck themselves. It's not worth it. WWE, kiss my ass. You suck. You're horrible. And until the network is to return, I don't want to watch you anymore. I will never watch it again. The network needs to return or I'm never watching your product. And I guarantee you, any person that clicks on this video, if you've watched to the end, if you've gotten to this point, you agree with me. You've listened to every alternative I've given. Even our video compilations that they had, XPW shows, all the free rare shows that nobody wants to take ownership of, like Heroes of Wrestling, are probably still better than some of the Raws and SmackDowns we've had in the past 6 months. You can watch all the World Wrestling All-Star shows. Some of those were better than some of the pay-per-views we've gotten recently. And they've had good stars, minus Jeff Jarrett. But think about it, guys. Really, think about it, okay? You can watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Alone, a lot of stuff. And you don't have to pay WWE or NBC a dime because, God forbid, WWE is getting fucking gangbanged over here and bukkakied by the Saudi government, NBC, ABC, fucking Fox, whatever. Who knows? Every cock has been in them. They are like a fucking $2 hooker you get in Atlantic City. Everybody's had a spin, but none of them are going to be able to get back their innocence and their health. This has been Cobb Angry Geek. Don't watch Peacock because they could suck a cock.